Well, you thought it was a beautiful day just for yourself to be at the ballpark, but it's also a beautiful day for some of the dogs who are coming out, those that are here with their owners and those that have the ability to be adopted, and some cats as well. We'll talk about that a little later on in the telecast. Tonight, though, it's Interleague Baseball, the Phils and the Blue Jays, Game 1 of this 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. John Kruk is back in the house just because there's an American League team in town. Johnny decides to come over for the weekend for the Phils and the Blue Jays. All right, so this Blue Jays team, they were the story in baseball the first 2 weeks of the year. Everybody thought, well, could they contend for the American League East title? But since that time, they've been struggling.
Yeah, it's been a big struggle for them. And you know, when your starting pitching struggles like their starting pitcher struggled, one with bad performance and also with injury. You look at the team profile here, 23-27 record. You know, for as bad as they're pitching, where their starters ERA 12th in the American League out of only 15 teams, that's not going to get it done. You're putting your team in a hole. They do hit home runs. They will score runs. But when you put, like I said, you put yourself in a hole like that, it's tough to come out of. And yeah, I wish their starting pitching was this bad in '93, but that quite didn't pan out that way, did it?
It did not. Hopefully it pans out for the Phillies this weekend. They will send Zach Eflin to the mound. Last start against the Cardinals, he wasn't bad. In fact, his 3 starts so far, he's been excellent for the Phils.
Yeah, but 11 days off in between starts, that's got to be tough, and then rain delays and all that stuff that was going on in St. Louis. And poor defense behind him, too, didn't help him any. But when you watch Zach Eflin pitch, he's a power pitcher. He's got a fastball that goes anywhere from low to mid-90s to upper 90s. A great breaking ball, too. He stays on the outside part of the plate, both to righties and left-handed hitters. And that's something that eventually I think will have to change. You would have to think that they're watching enough tape on him, opposing teams, to say he doesn't come inside, jump up on the plate, and let's see if you can catch something before he gets that big break outside. But you look at the percentage of pitches located on the outside part of the plate. Zach Greinke, how do you argue? Great pitcher. And all these guys are at one point were really good pitchers. But Zach Eflin, 57.1% of his pitches are on the outer half of the plate to both righties and lefties. Like I said, eventually that'll change. But if it's working, why mess with it?
Well, he's getting the strikeouts. He's getting ground ball outs as well, which is part of the reason why that's been so effective for Zach Eflin. All right, so it is Game 1 of this 3-game series. Eflin will be making his 4th start of the season. Sam Gaviglio will be making his 2nd start, and it's his 4th appearance overall. So far, 1-0 with a 0.93 ERA. Well, Reese, very friendly with his pup, and there's a lot of friendly pups here in the yard, and some cats as well. Keep them hydrated. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. By Toyota, the summer starts here at Toyota. Let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. Eflin taking the mound here at Citizens Bank Park as the Phils get set for this 3-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. On a very comfortable night for baseball, Zach has pitched very well since being brought back from the minor leagues. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Now, they've been struggling somewhat, and if you look at Josh Donaldson's numbers overall, 226 with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs, you got to throw them aside because his numbers an interleague player excellent, and his numbers against the Phillies are excellent as well. And they will indeed face the 6'6" 24-year-old who is 1-0 with a 1.56 earned run average. If not for the rain last time out, John, he may have been able to stick around to at least be in line for a victory. The Phillies eventually lost the game, but at least be in line for a victory against the Cardinals.
Yeah, the rain in St. Louis was brutal, and we happened to be lucky enough to be a part of that mess. But yeah, he was. When you have 11 days off and then you have rain delays, and he had to be chomping at the bit to try to get out there and pitch. But hopefully now, well, I'd like to say we're not going to get any rain, but it's fooled me all year.
You just never know.
No, but with regular rest, hopefully he'll be sharper and we catch the ball behind him.
That's right.
That's a key too.
Well, he'll face Curtis Granderson to lead things off. Granderson hitting .245 with 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in. I think there was a thought that he would not lead off this year for the Blue Jays, but he has settled into that spot and he swings at the first pitch. We're underway. It's no balls and 1 strike.
There's not many leadoff hitters you see that get shifted this drastically.
Phillies have 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond, and only Maikel Franco lingering on the left side. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. For his career, this is the 887th time that Granderson has led off a ball game. He has 155 career home runs as a leadoff hitter. Fights it off again, 2-2. And of those home runs, he has hit 69 of them in the first inning of games. Now, he has batted second or third in first innings before, but a lot of his time has been as leadoff hitter.
I was going to say, he's Jason Rickey, isn't he?
He's fouled a few pitches off here. It remains 2-2.
Remember a few years ago that he'd have been out by now.
He would have been out, just swinging through everything.
Yeah.
There's John Gibbons, the skipper of the Blue Jays, second tour of duty. Another foul ball. What if it's time to back foot one or backdoor a breaking ball?
Yeah, try to do something to change the location.
Blue Jays come into this ball game with a record of 23-27. They were 16-12 at the end of April. Swinging a foul tip and a strikeout for Eflin. 1 out. Went with a slider. It was an 8-pitch at bat. 5 foul balls by the time it was done. But that is the first out. Time now for our Nissan upgrade. Upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. And for the National League, the lowest team ERA is owned by the Phillies at 3.36. They've allowed 1 earned run or no earned runs in 14 of their last 19 games. Donaldson takes low, 1-0.
And as long as this continues, that's how long the Phillies will stay in the race.
I would agree with you on that one. A liner out to left center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Odubel has it roll off his glove, and Donaldson will pull into second base with his 11th double of the year. So he is now 4 for 4 lifetime against Zach Eflin.
Well, one thing about these Blue Jays, they're aggressive early in the count. You see Donaldson look like a breaking ball from Eflin, and he hit it off the end of the bat, but he's so strong, he got it out, into that gap, and Dubel bobbled it out there, but it wouldn't have had a play either way. Donaldson running hard out of the box, easy double.
Well, now Justin Smoke with 6 homers and 26 runs batted in this year. He finished 1 for 6 in the series against the Angels. It really wasn't a good homestand for the Blue Jays. They were 1-5 on the homestand, or I should say 1-6 on the homestand. They've lost 9 of 11. Breaking ball. Hitting .361 with runners in scoring position. The team is at .246 with runners in scoring position. Bouncer right side, and Florimone has it. 2 outs. 6-3 on the putout.
It's a big out there. You want to keep him off the board in the first inning, but you got a runner scoring position. Smoke is, he's one of their run producers, home run hitters.
Well, that'll bring Teoscar Hernandez to the plate. The young man that the Blue Jays got from the Astros last year for Francisco Liriano. They do have so many young prospects. Their farm system's ranked 9th in baseball.
Yeah, and that's, if you're a Blue Jays fan, that's what you're looking forward to. Because, look, in this division, you get off to a bad start, you get buried early with the Yankees, Red Sox, and look at the Orioles. They got off to such a poor start, and you hate to say that a team's out of it, but it's going to take an act of God for them to get back in it.
John Gibbons' 11th year. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Florimone. Has to hurry the throw. It's offline. The Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead. Well, that's a shame because Eflin was about to get out of this inning. It'll be the 2nd error of the year for Florimone, so no RBI. He got to this ball nicely, John.
Yeah, and it looked like a little slip right there when he tried to get into a setup. Watch his right foot. See how it slipped? It looked like it stuck, actually.
Would have been a close play at first anyway.
That's a tough error.
Well, here's Solarte. Had a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. This guy's been a nice pickup for the Blue Jays with 11 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Originally out of the Yankees organization, they got him from the Padres. He rips that one down the right field line. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. They better hurry. Hernandez is already at third base. He's being waved home. He's going to score. It'll be an RBI double for Solarte. 2-0 Blue Jays. The 11th double of the year for Solarte.
Wanted that pitch away. It stayed center. Solarte ball was hit really hard, but I mean, you notice the game plan. Eflin hasn't walked many guys, so why wait around for him to walk you? And they're jumping on him early.
John, we got a lot of Blue Jays fans here for the weekend.
Yeah,
it looks like.
It's great to see. Really great to see.
Get that tongue out of your cheek.
Well, some things are hard to let go.
I know. Fastball off the outside corner, 2-0. Pilar is 0 for his last 19, hitting .280 though, with 4 home runs and 20 runs batted in. This guy is one of the more gifted defenders in all of baseball. And he lines that one to left field. Boy, they're hitting some rockets now. It'll be an RBI double, and now it's 3-0 Blue Jays. Well, all these runs are unearned. But it doesn't silence how loud some of these hits have been.
I mean, this is old school American League baseball right here. You get a fastball, you let it fly. And that's what they're doing. Last 2 hitters, Solarte and now Pilar.
Oof.
Again, it's a mislocation, and yeah, I don't care how hard you throw or if your ball's moving, if the location's bad, it's going to get hit.
Rick Kravitz said, let's get him right now. That'd be nice.
Well, if you don't, there's going to be another run on the board.
Yeah, so 3 extra base hits for the Blue Jays here in the first. Now Russell Martin. Martin hitting .153, 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in. The breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
And it's a Blue Jays team that they do have a designated hitter, a typical, designated hitter in Kendrys Morales, even though it hasn't been great for him this year.
1 ball and 2 strikes in the dirt, blocked by Alfaro, and I think that stung his hands. Pilar goes to third on a wild pitch. I think that stung Jorge pretty good.
Yeah, it's smart that he didn't try to pick that thing up and throw it at it. If I could hit him right in the inside, like it hit a nerve or something. And you think about, he's such a great thrower of the baseball. What if he'd have just said, you know what, I can throw it, try to get Pilar, and throws it away and another run scores. So it's 2 outs, very smart. Hold on to that ball. Probably happy no one's on first.
Fastball just below the knees, 3-2. One thing about Russell Martin, despite his struggles, he still has maintained that eye at the plate. He is a .298 lifetime hitter against the Phillies. And he hits that one foul. There's Kendrys Morales. You were talking about their DH. We might see him in one of the games.
Where?
They might put him at first base. I guess it all depends on how Smoke does. Swing and a miss. Slowed it up a little bit. Second strikeout for Eflin. 3 unearned runs score, but it's a 28 pitch first inning. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Blue Jays 3, Phillies nothing. That is Sam Gaviglio, who will take the mound for the Jays, making his second consecutive start. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. All right, so John, Carlos Santana's back in the cleanup spot. He's finally up over the 200 batting average mark. He's at 202 with 8 home runs and 30 RBIs. And with the Phillies down 3-0, they're going to need some power guys here tonight.
Yeah, the good thing is they got 27 more outs, though, to work with.
Taking on Sam Gaviglio, and you see his numbers in just 3 games, 1 start, a 0.93 ERA. So 10 base runners in 9 2/3.
Yeah, and he's not overpowering. A 4-pitch pitcher. See his average fastball just 89 miles an hour. But the typical change slider curve.
There's Cesar. By the way, Mike McConey, the official scorer, has changed the E6 to an infield single.
Oh, now I got to change everything.
You're quick like a cat with that. So all 3 runs are earned. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cesar, who was 3 for 12 in the series against the Atlanta Braves. 2-1. Gaviglio is 28 years old, out of Eflin, Oregon. Went to Oregon State. Pretty decent changeup, 2-2.
So he played for one of my former minor league teammates, Pat Casey, who's a head coach at Oregon State.
How long has Pat been at Oregon State?
I think 18 years, something like that.
He's got another good team this year.
Yeah. He's doing something right up there, I guess.
Rhys Hoskins waits on deck. Out to second base. So Solarte will throw out Cesar. And 1 out here in the first. And that'll bring Rhys Hoskins to the plate. Rhys hitting .239 with 6 home runs and 27 runs batted in.
What does he say to the catcher and the umpire? I got to ask him.
I think you just.
Like, what's the general?
I think it's probably just, hey, how you doing? I guess. I don't know if there's anything more than that. What'd you say to them?
Depends on how the first pitch went.
No balls and 1 strike to Hoskins. He was 1 for 11 against the Braves. And 1-1.
There were some catchers I enjoyed seeing and speaking to, and there's others that I could have cared less.
Do you have a favorite that you'd like to see?
Well, when I got traded here, I liked seeing Benito Santiago.
Catching up at old times?
Yeah. Just making sure he was all right. And
1 ball and 2 strikes to Hoskins. Opposite way. He did that a couple times in the Braves series. He thought he had at least an extra base hit on one of them, and Nick Markakis was able to track it down. How about he's playing left field this weekend in Fenway Park, Markakis, because they don't feel like Acuna is used to the wall enough, the Green Monster. So they flip-flop. Over to third, Donaldson, who's really struggled with his throws this year, but he's able to throw them out. And there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate.
yeah, that was tough to watch that throw, huh?
Yeah, it was. It's kind of like Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, it shows some shoulder issues. Talked to my old buddy Dan Schulman, who announces for the Blue Jays now, and he used to be straight over the top with some really good velocity. And
well, this is going to be a quick inning for the Phillies. That'll be 12 pitches and 3 straight groundouts, which is usually when you know that Gaviglio is in good shape. Nothing across for the Phils. On to the second. It's 3-0 Jays. It'll be a 135 first pitch, and fans 14 and under will receive the Rhys Hoskins starting lineup figure. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. It's a great giveaway. All part of this weekend series with the Jays. And as we begin the second, and Gio Urshela, who the Blue Jays picked up from the Cleveland Indians, has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. And he lines that one down the left field line foul. Right there, John. You'd be fielding that baby on 1 hop.
Can't wait for that day. Looking forward to it.
Step right across the aisle and just bam.
I got to ask Nick or
outside 2-2, Nick or Jeff?
Adam Morgan.
Or Adam.
Who has a left-handed glove.
You know, I may have a left-handed glove at home if you want. It'd be small, though.
I need a big one. So I'm hoping Nick has an extra one floating around, a big old outfielder's glove. I don't know if they're related, but they don't get along well.
Interesting. Phillies and Blue Jays fans arriving at the same time.
Obviously, they were born after '93.
I think that's a good point. And maybe fell in love with them when Donaldson won the MVP a couple of years ago. 3 strikeouts for Eflin. By the way, Johnny, we have to wish a very special, and it's belated, but a very special 100th birthday to Mort Herskowitz, who watches the Phillies every night. Mort, how you doing, buddy? Enjoy that second dessert. He attributes his longevity to his passion for the Phils and Eagles and cigars. Happy birthday, Mort. I know we're a couple days late.
100 years old.
100 years old. He shares a birthday with Cesar Hernandez and with Jay McLaughlin in the press box. Jay's birthday was the other day as well. Jay is not 100, nor is Cesar. One ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Gaviglio is 1 for 5 in his big league career.
I mean, I guess the next person we know turn 100 would be Larry Anderson.
I knew you were going to go there.
Oh,
There's a line drive to left field, past a diving Hoskins, and that'll go to the wall. And Gaviglio is content with getting to second base with a 1-out double.
Didn't really think he was going to get there. I'd say Blue Jays probably don't work on pitcher's base running a lot, but
I don't think so.
how about the swing though? A line drive, Reese dives for it and it just passed him. But watch the base running. Oh man, I want to. It's hot, it's muggy. I guess I gotta go. But smiling the whole way.
That's his first extra base hit of his big league career. All right, so 1, 2, 3. That's 4 doubles for the Blue Jays.
We said in the open they can hit for power and they score runs. They just can't keep people from scoring runs, and that's, if you're the Phillies, when you go in the dugout after this inning, that's what you have to tell yourself.
Yeah, that their bullpen will give up some runs.
Yeah.
Particularly lately. No balls and 1 strike to Granderson. Granderson struck out his first time up. Out to left center field. That ball's carrying pretty well. Hoskins out to the fence. So is Odubel. He jumps and he made the catch. What a grab by Odubel Herrera. And that just saved a run. 2 outs here in the second.
Yeah, you know, he's hitting, and he's made so many spectacular. I think the funniest thing about the play was watching Reese. Reese jumped for it too, like he's trying to help Odubel get up more. What an unbelievable play! And
that was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, them pitchers all enjoy that. Yeah, when your best offensive player's also putting on a show defensively this year like he has, it's a pretty special thing to watch.
Well, the other part of it, he had to go so far because the ball was carrying and where he was lined up too.
And Granderson's a more dead pull hitter than at this point in his career than anything.
Here's Donaldson, who doubled his first time up. Now a runner at third. And he takes a fastball inside, 1-0. Breaking ball.
You better get it in there. You remember a few years ago when they had Batista and Encarnacion. I mean, those guys just tried to backleg everything. And they were successful a bunch. Looks like they changed the game plan with Eflin. You know, we talked about in the open how many pitches he throws away. And unless this is just a dead pitch around to Donaldson.
It might be. That's ball 4. The adjusted smoke is coming up. That's the first walk issued by Eflin. Smoke grounded out to shortstop on the right side. His last time up. Curved ball on the outside corner. Fly ball left field. Hoskins over toward the line. And now gliding back, puts it away. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. No runs because of this play by Odubel Herrera on a ball hit by Curtis Granderson. Boy, that was a huge inning saver. We'll go to the bottom of the second. News of the day in 2 languages every weeknight. Count on NBC 10 News and Telemundo 62 News at 11. See what everyone's talking about tonight. Bottom of the second inning. Yeah, it's a beautiful night for baseball here in South Philadelphia. Nice to see all the folks out getting a chance to enjoy some interleague play. Phillies are 4-0 so far in interleague baseball. National League has the upper hand on the American League so far in the early part of this season. And now the Phils need to get the upper hand on Sam Gaviglio. National League has won 40 games in interleague play this year, John. They've out-homered the American League. And they've pitched a little bit better than them, too.
Man, I tell you what, how about those numbers reverse? Usually it's the American League with all the homers.
No question.
National League with the stolen bases.
And the American League with the wins, too.
Yes.
Here's Santana to lead it off.
Different times we live in now, Tom. Different times.
It's kind of like Bizarro World, John. A little bit of a shift on here for Carlos as expected. A bouncer foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos's average at .202. His on-base percentage at .325. If you look at the video board here at Citizens Bank Park, his walk percentage is higher than his strikeout percentage as Smoke takes that on 1 hop. 3-1 on the putout, 4 straight groundouts. You don't often see that, where your walk percentage or the number of walks you have is better than your strikeouts. In fact, Carlos is one of 3 players in the National League with more walks than strikeouts among qualified players.
That could have been our stump the fan question.
It could have been. We got a good one for you tonight, though, John.
Oh, I bet. Joe Carter.
It is along those lines.
Bill Mazeroski. Only
not
2.
along those lines.
There's only 2, right?
There's Michael Franco, and he takes, I guess, a bit high, 1-0. Franco so far is 2 for 11 in interleague games this year. 4 runs batted in. 3-0. Be nice to get a base runner here, get him out of the windup and into the stretch.
Yeah, he thought we got him a little uncomfortable out there on the bases. Had to stay out for the entire inning, or 2/3 of the inning.
That's a two-seam fastball at 86 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Pulled toward the left side, backhanded on one hop by Urshela. 6-3 on the putout. 5 straight ground outs. Nick Williams is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, 3 runs in the first inning for the Blue Jays, and now Zach Eflin knows his job is to keep it right there and allow this Phillies offense to kind of chip away and get the Phils back in this one. And they've been able to do that a couple of times this year, and I was having that exact conversation with Vince Velasquez today before batting practice, and we were just talking about as a pitcher, as Vince as a pitcher, what it means to know that your offense has that ability this year to go out and get runs. They're plus 40 in the run differential. They're 4th in the National League in runs scored, 4th in RBIs as well. So this offense is getting the job done, and they're getting it done in timely fashion at times where it matters most. And he said it makes such a huge difference being out there on the mound and knowing that you don't have to be perfect. You can give up a couple of runs, and this offense can come back and get you back into the ball game. He said he had that experience when against the Giants. He let up 3 runs in the first 2 innings. Phils were able to come back, keep them in the game. They end up winning that game. So the offense, in years past, in the last couple of years, we haven't seen that ability for them to come back and bounce back and chip away. But this year's team has that ability, so hopefully they can show it tonight.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about that with the come from behind victories the Phillies have put together this year. As Williams pulls it foul. It's been something that's been nice to see, because that means you've got a chance no matter what the opposition does. Numbers for Williams.
See his last swing?
I think he ripped his batting glove off.
I think it just came unvelcroed, if that's the correct word. Kind of slid off while he was swinging. Is that a word?
Unvelcroed?
Yeah, probably not.
I think you can make it a word.
It is now.
You had a podcast about what you would do if you were commissioner.
I call the Scrabble. I'll call the Scrabble people and see what they say. The rules committee.
That'd be great if you could use that as a Scrabble word. That'd be a big one. Popped up.
Well, at least we hit one in the air.
Yeah, first fly ball of the night. Urshela, the shortstop in shallow left, makes the catch. 6 up, 6 down. We'll head to the 3rd. It's the Blue Jays 3 and the Phillies nothing. Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer, John, on the subject line. The question is, who led the major leagues last year with 15 first inning home runs? 15 first inning home runs. Who led them last year?
Team or player?
Player. What dude led the league
First inning home runs?
Hernandez reached on an infield hit his first time up. 1 ball and no strikes. He eventually came around to score. Back toward the middle, and that'll be into center field, a base hit.
Well, that one will be easier to score.
So he's 2 for 2, and now Solarte, who doubled his last time. That is already 6 hits in less than 3 innings against Zach Eflin. So Yannervis Solarte, who has hit 7 consecutive games.
Look where the defense. I remember the last time Solarte was up, he got to hit that ball down the right field line to score Hernandez easily from first base. But that's the reason why. You look where Odubel's playing. So they're playing Solarte like he's a pull right-handed hitter. And when they double cross it and he pulls it down the line, you saw how far Nick had to run. That's why you have to pitch him accordingly. If you're going to play him that way, you got to pitch him away. And you know, Eflin missed his spot. He threw it down the center of the plate, and Solarte, I mean, that's not even down the line really. But it took Nick so long to get there. We know Nick doesn't play easy. He's running as hard as he can every play, but Hernandez scored easy on that ball.
Outside 2-0. Yeah, it's sometimes what you give up when you shift. And Gabe was talking about the shifting today and whether it gets into the minds of the pitchers. Fangraphs had a really good story, if you want to check it out, about, you know, do sometimes pitchers, because the walks are up while the shifts are up, do pitchers sometimes think about the shift and try to be too fine with the way they pitch?
Well, I mean, when healthy, who's the best pitcher in baseball
right now?
When healthy, the last 10 years, 8 years.
Kershaw.
Hates the shifts.
Yeah.
He said, if I make a good pitch and they hit a routine ground ball and there's no one there, he said, I'm going to be more upset than if I, you know, give up a home run. And it's true. You know, a pitcher makes a good pitch and a guy rolls over a grounder or whatever, and they're you know, like a left-hand hitter, they're playing him to pull, and he hits a grounder to the shortstop, and it's a base hit.
That one spun foul behind home plate, 2-2. I thought it was interesting, though, what Gabe was talking about as the season evolves, is even talking to some of the pitchers about, you know, how they feel about the shift and where they might want guys to a certain extent lined up. Another off-speed pitch, and it remains 2-2.
But if you're an offensive player and you're perceptive, you would think, okay, wait a second. Yesterday they had me playing, they had me shifted to pull. Now today they're more straight up. So if you're a left-handed hitter, or either way, you have to be looking for the ball away.
Outside 3-2. Came with a fastball that hit 96 miles an hour.
You running? No outs. Why not, huh?
He runs pretty well. You've been aggressive at the plate.
Yeah, we saw that.
There he goes. Swing and a miss. The throw to second base is in time.
Wow.
Strikeout, throw out, double play. Boy, you're getting to the point now where you're anticipating these throws by Jorge Alfaro. It's just such a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of it starting it is the swing through, but got him.
Oh yeah, he's out.
You know, I think Hernandez got up shocked because he had a great jump, and he's probably thinking, where did that come from?
Inciarte the other day, I think, felt the same way. So the hardest caught stealing throws by a catcher this year, Alfaro is topping that list. This is coming into tonight, and the last throw was 89.0. So he has the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. He has thrown out 8 of the last 11 that have tried to steal. Just an incredible weapon. And I think what everybody had hoped he would be when the Phillies acquired him in the Hamels trade.
Well, he's a lot better catcher than what the scouting report said to me. I mean, he's made vast improvements this year.
Boy, Pilar really tied up. How big was that strikeout, throw out, double play? It just eased this inning for Zach Eflin. 5 strikeouts for Eflin and a really good arm by his catcher. The Pennsylvania Lottery's new scratch off, My First Million. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly and buy your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. Phillies are hosting some of the Pups tonight. It is Bark in the Park here at Citizens Bank Park. Some are extremely calm. Can't tell you that mine would be calm, John.
Well, either that or they're Phillies fans and they're bored right now.
Well, that could be it. That one just wants that bite of that hoagie, whatever it is.
Dog after my own heart.
That's
Tom.
right. Here's Alfaro to lead it off.
Great defensive play. Lead off the inning. Might as well lead off with a hit. Eventually we got to get one, right?
You would hope. They have 6.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if we don't get any hits, we're probably not going to win.
That's why your podcast is one of the best in the country.
It's getting there.
0-2.
It's all about the executive producer. Once he gets it nailed down, it's I mean, it's a pretty tight ship he runs off.
He put his foot down today.
He did.
2 podcasts tomorrow, and that's it. That's all he said. 1-2. And then he stormed out of the room.
He's getting to be a little diva, but we still love him.
2 and only 2 tomorrow, John.
Well, actually 3.
Well, that was your choice.
Helping out a friend. That's, you know why, John? Because you're people helping people.
I'm a bridge builder.
Oh boy, that's a crickety old bridge. Bouncer over to third. It's a foul ball.
Oh wow.
I don't think Jorge realizes it just yet. Now he does.
I'd like to see that again.
Guess it was right behind the bag.
Did that throw up a little chalk?
It looked like there was some white that popped up.
And our grounds crew would never have a crooked line.
No. That is not reviewable.
I can't tell.
Well, it was close.
I think it took Donaldson by surprise how quickly Alfaro got down the line. But he threw it and he looked up and he's like, he looked in the dugout like, whoa, wait a second. That's a catcher.
Look at that.
Gotta protect the eyes, Tom.
I think I've seen a dog that would allow that. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Gaviglio. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the hottest teams in baseball. They're going to be in town Friday, June 8th for a weekend series. A night game, 2 day games, honoring the Sandlot's 25th anniversary, plus a salute to the 1993 Phillies. It's the 25th anniversary. That's on Sunday. It's Chevrolet Father's Appreciation Day. Here's Florimone.
Is that Sandlot the movie?
Yeah.
I was in one of them.
Were you in two? Sandlot 2?
I don't
Had
know.
to be 2.
How many of them is there?
I think there were 2. There
Then
may have been a made-for-TV 3, but I don't remember that one. Out to left field, Granderson. Yeah, there are 2 outs. How many movies have you been in?
Wow. I don't know.
That many, huh?
Maybe 3, maybe? 3?
Well, The Fan.
The Fan.
Yeah.
One of the Sandlot movies. And a movie that was a great story, true story about when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. They put the Japanese Americans in internment camps.
Yes.
And they played baseball.
Yeah.
And I got to announce one of the games, and it was a period piece, so I'm sitting with the producer.
Eflin sends one to the air to center field. Pilar going back, and there's the first hit of the game for the Phils. A home run for Zach Eflin. And the Phillies are on the board. It's a 3-1 ball game. Well, that'll get it going a little bit.
Showing the rest of the guys it ain't that hard.
First major league home run for Zach Eflin.
We saw how the ball's traveling. We saw the ball, you know, every outfielder so far, ball hit the center or to left, the ball's drifting, and Hector tried to catch it. There he goes. Very animated bullpen down there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they're happy. One of their pitchers took them deep.
Well, Murph said 3-0 lead is pitchers aren't worried about it. First home run by a Phillies pitcher since Ben Lively last September. 2-0 to Cesar. That was 418 feet, John.
Wasn't quite the distance that Jorge Alfaro hit his earlier in the season, but counts the same. Let's go back to back. But anyway, that movie was called The American Pastime.
American Pastime.
And I was an announcer, and over
to the right side. Solarte just in time to get Cesar. Phillies are going to take a look at that one. They'll also take a look at this one for a long time. Eflin's home run to center field. A solo shot puts the Phillies on the board. It's a 3-1 game as we go to the fourth. For heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you serve, we stand ready to serve all military families. This Memorial Day weekend, we remember those who pay the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom here in the United States and abroad. Stan Musial, one of a number of former major leaguers who served in the military in the Navy in 1945 in World War II. What a career Stan the man had. A 24-time All-Star. As Russell Martin foul tips the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
He was one of my dad's favorite players.
Was he?
Growing up, as he was growing up, and I got the opportunity to get an autographed baseball of him and from him when we played in St. Louis to give to my dad. Now my son has it.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Beautiful statue of Stan Musial that is outside Busch Stadium. It is a gorgeous statue. One ball, 2 strikes to Martin. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Eflin. That's the first out here in the 4th inning. Well, Jay Wright has done this before. In fact, back in 2015, he brought his dog to the ballpark, and Jay, he was just having a conversation with his pooch.
Apparently the dog's shedding.
Apparently. It's all right. Jay's always man of style, but he's here with his family and his pup. He is a huge Phillies fan, a huge Philadelphia sports fan, as you would imagine. Every time I saw him during the basketball season, he goes, "We're going to be better, right? We're going to be better, right?"
Yes, I think they're proving that.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a beautiful dog.
He's done okay for himself.
Yes, he has.
But you know, he was like Charlie, and you know, like Gabe.
Little humpback line drive right to second, 2 outs.
You know, at first it was, you know, he wasn't well received at Villanova early in his career, and then you know, national championship. Or
Jay, that's just so he knows, that's good luck.
Yeah,
Look at
that's the rumor.
Patty's trying to get the hair off his arm and the slobber.
Charlie Manuel was another who was it all turned out well for those two, and hopefully we can say the same for Gabe, because everyone likes a winner.
That's right. One ball and one strike to Gavilia. And it's 1-2.
Is this guy a converted pitcher? Swing the bat a little bit.
Does have a pretty good swing, considering he's been in the American League his whole life as a professional.
He's snuck in around a BP somewhere.
Two and two. .76 pitches for Eflin, 48 strikes, 28 out of the zone. Yeah, I got no swings for him at Oregon State. I thought maybe at Oregon State he might be able to put some numbers up. And a strike three call. 7 strikeouts for Eflin. Let's hope he's found a little bit of a groove. He's retired 5 in a row. We have played 3.5. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Look at the eyes on that one. Oof. Brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealers and by Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Johnny, you think Frankie's 2 scoops would give that pup some ice cream?
I would think Frankie would. He's a good humanitarian. And I'm sure an animal lover.
Dogs like ice cream. At least mine have over the years.
Yeah, humans are pretty fond of it too.
Some more than others, but yes. That one's got 2 leashes. Keep it down. Inside voice. Inside voice. Dogs of all sizes here at the ballpark. I am amazed sometimes that when we watch some of them, they're in the 300 level here, that so many of them are so calm. Like, look at that. I know it's a small pup. They're just kind of taking it all in. Dog's looking for that Goose Island right there.
There's something that dropped. Something's going to fall soon.
Here's Hoskins to lead off the 4th. Yeah, that's 1 ball and no strikes.
All right, enough playing around. Here we go.
Okay, let's erase this 2-run deficit, right?
Well, Eflin is settled in. And he got this offense on the board.
That's a big, scary camera. Inside 3-1. Odubel on deck.
Now, didn't they warn the dog coming that there might be cameras on him?
You have to assume that when you come to the ballpark.
You'd think.
Oh, poor Spuds. Little headgear for Spuds. 3-2. Almost looks, yeah, I was going to say, almost looks like he wants to jump. Down low, ball 4. Hoskins draws a walk. First walk issued by Gavilio. MLB At Bat is your #1 Philadelphia Phillies app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get the Phillies home screen icon and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. That dog's thinking, man, why do you have to wear that dangle hat? Because it's a good looking hat. Odubel is grounded out. He's 0 for 1. Ooh, we got a good rip at that 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Odubel hitting .342 here in the month of May. Take a look at this swing and this pitch.
Yeah, he's trying to tie it up, that's for sure, but that's a tough one. Ball sinking away from you.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Popped up foul. That'll be back into the seats. And Odubel is behind 1-2. Odubel's reached base safely in 48 of the last 49 games, dating back to last year. His streak ended the last time we saw you, John, on Sunday in St. Louis, but he picked up right where he left off.
And he reached base in that game.
He did. There were folks that felt the same way you did.
I think it's the dumbest thing ever. You're going about reaching base in a game
safely.
Well, he was safe.
He was safe. 1-2 to Herrera. Yeah, the dirt. 2-2.
What did the umpire say when the catcher threw it down to first and he beat the throw?
He said, "Hey, Odubel."
He said, "You're safe."
He did say you're safe.
So he reached base safely.
Joe West behind the plate.
That's why I need to be commissioner.
That's why we've decided you're making an amendment to your Cruckcast.
I am?
Yeah, you're going to add things to it.
I
an
am?
addendum. Because you've come up with even more ideas.
Could turn out to be an addendum. Murph will straighten it out, though.
2-2 is fouled back.
It's like a hot potato over there.
Spinning out everybody's hand.
Well, it hit the guy in one of those. Is that those sweeps down there?
Yes.
And then it took a left turn and went into the next sweep. Watch this. Watch it. This guy right there. Now watch. The ball just takes a left turn. It gets past everyone. Look at him.
Whoa. Got to be quick.
Never seen that. Usually he'll hit a chair and check up.
Odubel fouls another one off. Different part of the sweep might get a chance at that. Our buddy Jimmy Solomon was taking a photo of the field, so I jumped in the photo.
Photo bomb?
Yeah. Inside, just inside, 3-2. Well, that's that two-seamer. It started to run back. It didn't run all the way back. P.J. Wheelahan's pitch cast will tell us where it went. Wow, John, that's really close.
Yes, it is, but Joe West didn't miss those.
We've learned it depends on the umpire whether that line is a strike or it's not.
And how much of the ball is actually on that line? That was just a skosh. That could have been a loose seam.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Hoskins at first. Swing and a miss. He got him. A slider. Second strikeout.
Darn helmet.
For Gaviglio. And now Carlos Santana.
Just a tad bit of an overswing by Odubel. You see that top hand roll over. He's trying to tie the game up, and then that darn helmet. You know, you got, that's staying inside the helmet though really good with his hands.
He's pacing right now.
He's well, you know why he's angry? Not that he struck out. He missed about 3 or 4 pitches.
That he fouled off.
That he fouled off that, you know, were good pitches to hit, and that's a frustrating part.
Santana grounded out sharply his first time up. And still Hoskins over at first base. And it's 2-0. Up in Boston, the Braves have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Red Sox.
How about them designating for assignment Hanley Ramirez today?
They're eating a lot of money.
Yeah.
He had a piece in his contract, a clause in his contract that would have kicked in for at some point, and they've let him go obviously before that. And Dave Dombrowski said that had nothing to do with it. Had to have something to do with it. 2-1, but that is a lot of money for a team to eat.
You know, they had to make room for Pedroia, and you know, he's pretty kind of hamstrung now because he can't play third or short anymore. He's basically a DH and a first base.
Right. Inside, 3-1.
Tie game right here. Walker home run right here. I'm saying off the Toyota signing right.
Inside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. And now it brings Franco up. Well, now if you're Michael, this is where I would think that you have to ward off overswinging.
Yes.
Against Gaviglio.
You know, when he was going good, he was hitting home runs, but they were line drive home runs. They weren't the big pull off fly balls, but he also got a lot of base hits the other way. And that would be nice right here. A little gapper in the right center.
Scouting report on Gaviglio is that he had to command all of his pitches. If he didn't, he'd be in trouble. Well, for the first 3 1/3, he is commanding his pitches. Now, he has walked 2 in this inning. but he hasn't missed by much. Opposite way, picked on one, hot by Smoke. There's one, and they're unable to turn the double play as the ball goes off the glove of Gaviglio. So the putout goes 3-6 at second base. Gaviglio had no idea where the first base bag was anyway.
Like it caught Smoke by surprise there a little bit, and then the shortstop shot. Look at him, he can't, he's bobbling. Now I wonder if they can look at that. It looked like he was bobbling the ball as he was coming across the base. Wish we could see that again. I don't know if they saw it there in the dugout or not, but like, is he on the base when he catches? Yeah, I guess they would call that on the exchange, but that's close.
It is close. You're right. All right, now Nick Williams with runners on first and third. And Williams hits it the other way, grounded right at Donaldson. And the inning is over. So the Phils leave a couple, including one in scoring position. No runs, no hits, 2 men left. On to the 5th inning. It's 3-1 Jays. Program has you covered. Han Furniture provides beautiful options for every part of your office, and WB Mason provides it all at amazingly low prices. All in service means you don't have to lift a finger. Who but WB Mason? Here's Granderson to lead it off in the 5th, and Eflin delivers outside. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Granderson's 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied out. Pulls that one over the head of Santana. And he'll be aboard with a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. Josh Donaldson's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you, Tom. Well, we all know it is Bark in the Park tonight, but before the game, the Pennsylvania SPCA, Phillies wives, and Reese Hoskins, his girlfriend Jamie, and their dog Rookie were out down on the field. Fans were able to take pictures with Rookie when they came into the ball game today. They came in through the first base gate. You can see that he's a 8-month-old golden retriever, beautiful dog, and he's not just a dog, guys. He is a social media superstar. You can find him on Instagram at The Life of Rookie. And this is all to help raise awareness for the Pennsylvania SPCA. Reese and his girlfriend Jamie are huge animal lovers. They also adopted a cat named Missy. Nice play right there from Michael. And they just wanted, Reese was asked about, why get involved, and he said, well, as an athlete, I get a chance to, kind of help raise awareness about what's happening and things that are important to them. The Pennsylvania SPCA is certainly a part of that. So, in conjunction with Bark in the Park, they brought out Rookie today. What a gorgeous dog!
Oh, beautiful dog. I mean, beautiful. And he was rolling through a baseball before Reese came over. In fact, as soon as he saw Reese, he dropped the baseball and went after him. Yeah, it's a great program. The Phillies have been partners with them for a long time. Chase Utley used to be. Chase and Jen used to be the spokespeople for it. Here's Justin Smoke with a runner at second. It's 1-0. Rick Kranitz on the horn. Out to the bullpen, probably projecting because Eflin's at 82 pitches. And is due up third. Fly ball center field. Odubel going back at it. He's going to look, and that one is gone. A 2-run home run, a long one for Justin Smoke. And the Blue Jays have just added to their lead. It's now 5-1 here in the 5th inning. That ball was crushed, but the ball is flying tonight.
Yeah, it is carrying good, but that ball, you said it. It was crushed, and I mean, again, though, you see Alfaro having to reach. He wants that ball down and away. See how he has to just raise his glove up and move it over to the center of the plate, and I mean, it just smack dab on the barrel of Justin Smoke.
Over to third. Nice hop for Franco. A little easier play to get Hernandez than before, but he's made both of them. 2 outs. And Solarte is coming up. Now Nervis Solarte doubled and scored his first time up, struck out his last time.
They don't hit many singles, do they?
They do not. Well, I mentioned that they have struggled 1-6 on the homestand, but they've been without their closer, Roberto Osuna, who was on an administrative leave, and that has weighed heavy on the 8th and the 9th inning for the Jays. They've blown a couple of games in the 8th and the 9th inning on this homestand.
And the guy who is their supposed to be the ace of their staff has struggled. Marcus Stroman, well, he's hurt now, right?
He's on the disabled list with arm fatigue, but also taking a mental break. Off the end of the bat, out towards second, and past Cesar. I think it just fooled him, John.
I think it fooled him. It looked like Solarte hit that ball off the end of the bat, and it had like a screwball action going toward Carlos.
He's looking up at the board to see if it's a hit or an error. And it will go down as a hit.
Yeah, has to be.
Pilar takes at the knees, and it's 0-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got his lineup card out.
Yeah, it's decision-making time for Gabe.
Yeah, he's probably going to make a double switch if he makes the change now.
Yeah, this could be one of those. I'll give him Pilar, but someone 2 outs and someone in scoring position, he might go get Arano.
Off the glove of Alfaro. And Solarte will go up to second base. He's taking a peek at that glove. It was in and out of the glove. Yeah, I think that's got to be a pass ball. And it would be his 4th of the year. Line drive picked on 1 hop by Franco, and he zips the throw. Oh, he's off the bag. I thought he held the bag. Santana's not arguing or saying anything. That'll put runners on first and third with 2 men down. Right there, he is. Looks like he's off.
Yeah, and I don't think he got back.
Rob Thompson is on the phone. Doug Eddings made that call.
Joe West ain't even waiting. Now he's going to be real happy.
Gabe's going to come out and make a double switch.
I think Joe was ready for a little confrontation there.
Was.
And then Gabe said double switch, and the tune kind of changed a little bit.
All right, so the Phillies will make a pitching change. Zach Eflin will not get out of this 5th inning. Here comes Victor Arano. We'll be back right after this. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phillies. Well, yesterday Lehigh Valley lost to Rochester 2-0. Ben Lively, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts. Reading defeated New Hampshire 4-3. New Hampshire is the AA affiliate of the Blue Jays. Clearwater lost to Palm Beach 7-6. Adam Hazley hitting .373 in his last 13. In Lakewood, they swept Hagerstown. Jake Shiner 2 for 6 with 3 RBIs in that doubleheader. Rick Kraditz chatting with Zach Eflin. Eflin, who made his major league debut against the Blue Jays, allowed 9 runs that night, 8 earned. And tonight he's allowed 5 runs. Russell Martin takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes against Victor Arano with an ERA of 1.32.
They need to get out of this when 5-1 still doable. Of course, only 1 hit makes it seem like it's insurmountable.
It does, doesn't it?
And the hit just got taken out of the game.
Yeah, the 418-foot home run by Zach Eflin. The longest home run hit by a pitcher this year. He's not going to want to face the Blue Jays, though, moving forward. He's allowed 13 earned runs against them. Back toward the middle, another base hit. Russell Martin will drive in a run. Pilar is on his way to third. RBI single, 6-1 Blue Jays. Well, that'll go down as an unearned run charged to the line of Eflin. That just had too much of the plate.
Too much. Just, you know, Eflin struggled, and now 1 hitter in. Arano just missed location. And we talked about the struggles of the Toronto Blue Jays, but the struggles weren't scoring runs.
Yeah, it was just keeping a lead. It was not as close as Urshela made it seem, but it's 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Arano trying to find that same sharpness that he had to begin the year.
Well, you talk to pitchers that have arm injuries, especially shoulder. It's not the velocity that goes down, it's the location that doesn't come back as quickly.
Popped him up. Carlos Santana puts it away. 8 men come to the plate in the inning for the Blue Jays. They scored 3 runs, 2 earns. The lead is up to 5. It's 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Retro night. Dress in your 90s best and join the fun. Visit Phillies.com to get your tickets right now. 6-1, Blue Jays on top. I don't even remember what we wore in the 90s. John will be part of that weekend where the Phillies will honor the 93 team, the 25th anniversary of the 93 team.
What did you wear in the 90s?
I don't even remember what I wore.
I know what I wore.
You wore a uniform.
Ugly mullet.
Yeah.
That I'll never live down.
There's a lot of people that are envious of that mullet, John.
Jeans.
Jeans.
I remember Dutch one day took me. He said, "Man, you got to get some clothes. You look like a bum."
Where did he take you?
Well, they were silk and colorful. I know one with like a mustard colored pants, and then he talked me into getting this like it's like a pink color. What's that? Mauve? Like a mauve colored jacket, sport coat.
How was that received?
Well, in West Virginia, not real well. That's why I never. that baby stayed in the closet. Well, the mustard pants didn't go over well there either, but I wore them because he talked me into getting them. Yeah.
Was he playing a trick on you, you think?
No, because he was colorful. He had. That was quick.
Yeah, it was. Second strikeout of Alfaro. Third strikeout overall.
I mean, he wasn't no Mariano Duncan now. Mariano had some.
It would be great if Mariano took you shopping.
I don't know if I could afford his tastes. I mean, he had the whole thing. Well, the shirt, the belt, the shoes.
Out to center field, Pilar makes an easy play. 2 outs. Altair's coming up. Monday morning, wake up with NBC 10 News today with Brittany, Bill, Tracy, Vi, and Jessica. News, weather, and traffic to get you and your family up and out the door. Weekdays, 4 to 7 a.m. Count on it.
We should trade jobs with them for a day.
The folks at NBC 10?
Yeah, we should go do, like, you can be the anchor.
Oh, that'd be cool. You do weather?
I would do weather. Murph would do
human interest stories.
He kind of does that now. He's kind of a human interest in himself, but or an interesting human.
Ground ball foul, 0-2. Hey, Jason Kelsey's here. Bark of the park, and they brought the underdogs.
Well, we don't want to trade jobs with him.
No. I don't think anybody wants us to trade anything with him.
I'll tell you what, he is funny, though.
Yes, he is.
That was a great inning there.
Swinging a miss by Altair.
Put
Well,
that on
it
the highlight
certainly
reel.
was a quick inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We go to the 6th. It's 6-1 Blue Jays. Fearless Philly of the Week is filling in many different areas during the first 2 months of the season. Pedro Florimon has defended 5 different positions this year and has done so in fine fashion. At the plate, his average has hovered around 300 for the month of May. including his first 2 home runs since 2013. Yep, and even when Gabe Kapler needed him to step onto the mound, he was ready to fire on more than one occasion, saving the bullpen, helping his team. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, here we are as we go to the top of the 6th inning. As Sam Gaviglio will lead it off. He is 1 for 2. And he fights that one off to second, caught by Cesar. And 1 out here in the 6th. Gaviglio will now take his time going back to the dugout. Although he had a lot of time to sit, he only threw 7 pitches in his half of the 5th inning.
Threw more warm-up pitches. Think about that.
He threw more warm-up pitches.
More warm-up pitches than he did to get 3 hitters out. With the strikeout thrown in.
What is Joe West yelling at now? Did he just say he thinks he's a hitter now?
Yeah, I think he's yelling at Granderson to get in the box. He said he's not a pitcher. He thinks he's a hitter now. Joe, you know, he can yuck it up with you. You just don't know when. And you're not sure if he's trying to be funny or
passive aggressive
or angry at you for. It was funny because like we got along, but there was some, you know, we had our moments.
Larry got along with him really well.
Yeah, he threw me out of a game, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I know 1. But yet 1 year he invited me down to play in his charity golf outing at Doral in Miami. And I'm like, yeah, golly, man, should I go? The guy hates me. I'm not sure I like him. And I went. And the first night there, I met him, you know, at a little reception thing. And I like my whole outlook changed to him because he was not Joe West, the umpire.
He was just Cowboy Joe West.
He was just Cowboy Joe.
Or Country Joe West. Are there any umpire? Is he the only one that's still umping that was umping when you played?
Angel Hernandez.
I forgot about Angel. Yep. There's probably
Mike
a few.
Winters. Mike Winters, right?
Laz Diaz.
No, I don't think that was. Larry Vanover. They were all in the American League though, I think. Like, you know, we didn't have this.
Yeah, the split, everybody together.
And I think it's better this way.
Over to third base. Franco stays down on it. Well, Arano exchanges quick innings with the Blue Jays. 1, 2, 3 go the Jays on to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-1. Toronto on top. Sixth inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Our Geico quote of the day from Cesar Hernandez on the Phil's turnaround. I think the rebuild is basically over. We have some hungry players. I think it's key for us to stay united with a positive atmosphere. If we keep playing the way we are, we can go far.
I like it.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the clubhouse feels that they can compete for the long haul here.
And I think if there's one thing that they have to improve on if they want to stay in contention is their defense. It has to get better.
Yeah, even the metrics show that they're, the overall numbers, the normal defensive numbers show that they're toward the bottom in the National League. Even the defensive metrics. Alfaro's throws certainly help, and they energize you when he's able to throw a guy out trying to steal. One ball and 2 strikes. Cesar's 0 for 2. He's reached base safely in 27 straight. And he's down looking on strikes. I don't think he saw any of those pitches. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast, free delivery? Nobody does it better. 5 strikeouts. And here's Rhys Hoskins. Out to center field, Pilar. 2 outs. Fairly brisk pace, John, these last 2 innings.
Yeah, it's like some guys have somewhere to go. Maybe the dogs have a curfew or something. I
don't know. I don't know, but those earlier innings were taking some time because there were runs being scored. Oh, it's kind of like a spring training game in some ways. Odubel is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and he is struck out. Opposite way. Granderson won't get it. It's going to go to the wall. And Odubel's on his way to second base, and he's there standing with a 2-out double. His 5th hit his homestand.
You notice too that swing. There was no overswing like he swung when he struck out last at bat. I mean, watch how easy this swing is. Just head on it. Hit it off the barrel, and the ball's going to jump because he's so strong, and that ball got past Granderson pretty quick. There's not many guys who can max effort a swing and make contact consistently.
Carlos sends one to the air to deep left field. Forget about it. It is gone. Off the scoreboard, and it's now a 6-3 ball game.
Even that swing right there, just shortened to the ball. And yeah, we kept talking about how the ball's flying tonight.
It is.
And you hit it off the barrel in the air, and you're as strong as these guys are, it's going to go out.
Estimated distance 409 feet.
Didn't it hit the scoreboard out there?
Yeah.
So is that scoreboard 409 feet away? Because
no, it's where it's going to land, where they're projecting it's going to land. Michael hits one foul.
Up.
He was trying to say thank you. That was the young man who got one earlier.
Yeah, he's nice. Gave that kid a ball. And
very nice of him.
And a cheers.
Foul back. Little dribbler foul. Is warming up in the bullpen, former St. Louis Cardinal, and Drew Hutchison and Adam Morgan warming up for the Phillies. Another one pulled foul. Pulled foul again.
Suddenly, after 2 quick outs, this has become a reasonably lengthy inning.
Yeah, it's only a 3-run game now again for the Phils. Certainly well within reach.
Touched on the struggles of the bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yep. Franco strikes out and slams his helmet down at his bat. A little frustration from him, but the Phils climb closer thanks to Carlos Santana and his 2-run home run. Boy, he drilled this one 409 feet away. He's made it a 6-3 game as we go to the 7th inning here at Philadelphia. Coors Light refreshing finish. Well, we go back to the Dogs. They've been a big part of tonight's telecast because the event that was taking place here tonight where you could adopt a dog or a cat thanks to the Pennsylvania SPCA. That little feller, he did not like the camera. Pretty good turnout tonight from the folks who brought their pups to the ballpark. Scott Kingery, John, comes in as part of the double switch.
Yeah, he does. You kiss your dog like that?
I do not. You?
No.
Adam Morgan, in his 20th game, a 2.31 ERA. Chris Young's going to track down that errant baseball.
Multitasking.
That's right. He was out there. He figured he might as well help the cause. All right, so now Morgan is trying to keep this at a 3-run game. The Phils have 3 more at bats. First pitch hit sharply, knocked down by Kingery. And Smoke will be aboard with his second hit.
Well, welcome to the game, Scott.
Yeah. Get your uniform dirty right out of the chute.
Tell you what, that was almost a heck of a play. Full dive, ball's all behind him. Just couldn't stick it.
Well, now Hernandez, who is 2 for 3 tonight, and he takes strike 1, 0-1. Out towards second, that might be 2. Cesar flips to second for 1, over to first. A 4-6-3 double play. A little awkward finish, but double play nonetheless.
Take it. Well, that's about as tailor-made as you're going to get. A perfect hop to Cesar, about his belt. Easy toss to Flormone, and Flormone kind of sailed that throw. And another stretch for Santana.
He looked a little disgusted with himself too. Solarte is 2 for 3. Had a pitch outside, 1-0.
Four o'clock game tomorrow, huh?
4 o'clock, John.
Why is that?
Just
mix it up.
Yeah. Change up 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's a pretty comfortable inning for Adam Morgan. Solarte throwing his helmet every which way. Boy, he's really upset with himself. We go to the bottom of the 7th. for our giant home run replay. We go back to the 5th inning, and this is Justin Smoak.
Whew. Yeah, loud sound, and we talked all night about how well the ball was carrying here, and I don't know if that one needed any help, but it got a little bit, but that ball was crushed.
It's all part of our Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The Blue Jays scored 3 in the 1st inning, then the Phillies got 1 in the 3rd, and then all of a sudden the Blue Jays extended their lead to 6-1 thanks to the Smoak home run and an RBI single. And then 2 runs in the 6th by the Phils from Carlos Santana. And now Sungwon Oh will take over on the mounds for the Blue Jays. Sam Gaviglio went 6 innings. He allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. All right, so O will face Kingery. Overall, the Blue Jays bullpen hasn't been bad. A 3.63 earned run average, which is 4th in the American League. But it's been the last 11 days where 2 of their main pieces, Tyler Clippard and John Axford, have been terrible for them, just statistically. They don't have their closer. Ozuna is on administrative leave because of an arrest that took place earlier this year on May 8th, and he is facing a potential domestic violence suspension by Major League Baseball. They have extended his administrative leave on a couple different occasions, and they've extended it now to June 4th. His court date in Toronto, because he was arrested by Toronto police, is June 18th. So John Gibbons will be without him for the foreseeable future. Major League Baseball, has suspended the likes of Jose Reyes and Jeurys Familia and Aroldis Chapman for the violation of the domestic violence policy. And the thought is that's what's going to happen to Ozuna. And it's ball 4 to Kingery. And now Alfaro's coming up.
Well, good start. Here's where Alfaro has to be patient with O. 4 balls, not even close to Kingery, and the last thing you want to do is help him out.
Alfaro has struck out twice tonight. Alfaro fouls the first one back into the sweet level. He just couldn't figure out Gaviglio, John. It happens.
Yeah.
See the numbers for Alfaro, 7th inning or later.
This looks like there's just a little hesitation when he's trying to pull the trigger.
Just like a hair of indecisiveness.
Yeah, just not a fluid swing. His hands go back, and then they stop for just a split second, and then it seems like he gets late on balls.
He strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And now Floramone's coming up. Season tickets and the plans are going quickly. In fact, the season ticket plan sales will end on May 31st. Now you can get your season tickets with as little as 7 games. The comfort of having the same seats in the best location for every game. Call 215-463-5000 to order your season tickets. So we got a miss by Floramone, 0-1.
Are 7 tickets really a season ticket?
It's a partial plan. Partial season ticket plan.
I got you.
You get 7, John. There's a bunch of packages.
Partial season ticket plan.
You got any interest?
Well, I got a good seat up here. I don't.
Yeah, you do. I guess technically you do have a partial plan.
Partial. I do not do 81 home games, unlike someone in the other booth.
That's right. He has a full season ticket plan.
Yes, he does.
1 ball and 1 strike to Florimon. 2-1.
He picks me up at the airport this morning.
Very nice of him.
Very nice of him.
Larry Anderson, by the way,
Yes,
is who
Larry
Jones
Anderson.
is alluding to.
And so he drives past me, and then I can hear someone yell, "Johnny, Johnny!" And I'm like, "Who is that?" And it's him, and he's walking toward me. So he gets out of his car, and he's walking towards me. And what does he have? Well, he had on those canvas things he wears. I don't know what they're called, but they're not flip-flops. So, but what shirt does he have on?
The decider?
No.
Oh. Two balls and 2 strikes. What shirt does he have on? The I Love LA shirt?
Well, no, that I had that one on, but there he is right there, the old veteran. He had a Minute with Murph shirt on.
Oh, that's great. Murph, has he done a Minute with Murph?
You know, Tom, he has not done a Minute with Murph. But if he is going to wear the shirt, we should certainly do that.
You've got to bring it back. That'd be the first person to bring it back for.
I know. You're right. Maybe LA and I sit down this weekend.
Maybe you do it now. Get on up there.
I don't have a minute right now.
What do you got to do?
No, I got a minute or 2.
Look at Larry perking up because he knows you're talking about him.
He's a beautiful man. Love him to death.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Florimon. Fouls it off again. Yeah. What did you say to him when you saw the Minute with Murph shirt?
I assumed he'd been drinking already. But he said he wasn't.
We've given out so many shirts this year.
I know. The decider.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Kevin. Pop up on the right side. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Altair is coming up. Be nice to get that run home here, or a run home here.
Joe West still got something to throw with over there. You don't see that often anymore, do you?
Was he firing?
The umpire throwing the ball to the pitcher.
He threw his mask down before. After Solarte threw all of his equipment, Joe decided to throw his equipment too.
Must be in a good mood today. Did one of the other umpires fine Joe $100 for throwing equipment?
I did not see them point.
Huh. Maybe they should pay attention closer.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The left side of your screen, right near home plate. He threw his mask down because Solarte was throwing his down. Two balls and 2 strikes.
I think the bat boy just walked right past it too. He's like, I
better get out of the way here.
Yeah, I take care of the players. I don't take care of the umpires throwing stuff.
And a strike 3 called. 2 strikeouts in the inning for O. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. On to the 8th inning. It's the Blue Jays 6 and the Phillies 3. Your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Phillies trail at 6-3 as we move to the top of the 8th inning. And Kevin Pillar will lead it off against Adam Morgan. Pillar tonight is 1 for 3. And it's 0-1.
A ringing double down the left field line to drive in a run.
There was a lot of ringing going on early on.
A lot of balls rattling fences in that first inning for the Blue Jays.
Victor Arano went an inning and a third scoreless for the Phils. And now Morgan is beginning his 2nd inning of relief work. He's only thrown 10 pitches. With 2.
They don't get cheated on fastballs, do they?
Nope. That's the thing. I mean, you mentioned it during the open. We've been discussing it. Even with all their struggles, because it has been a struggle, they still are hitting the baseball. They finished April 16-12. They started the year 12-5. That may come back fair. And it's stopped by Morgan.
Look at that.
Is there a cut in that from stepping on it?
Yeah, I think he spiked it.
Whoa. Nice balance. Well, the Blue Jays started 12-5. Take a look at this. Oh, look, it was torn off the end of the bat.
Yeah, probably took it out of that cup end of the bat of Pillar.
Popped up back toward us.
You got a really bad read.
I thought it might bounce. You know, hit the cement.
Yep.
And then hop up here.
Yeah. That would have hit me in the head because I wasn't paying attention to that one. I used to assume the Philly faithful would corral that baby.
Swing and a miss, a high fastball. Second strikeout for Morgan. All right, Johnny, time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. Odubel Herrera.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson thought he might have had a home run and at least at worst extra bases. But Odubel said, I don't think so, Grandy, man. I'll take care of this one. Yeah, far he had to run. Look at the timing. Right hand out to protect himself, to know when he's hitting the wall. And that's our Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by Odubel and your local Hyundai dealers.
Nice job, John. Way to not miss a beat after being off for a couple of days. Good job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What'd you do while you were away, by the way?
Well,
a lot of rain in Florida?
Yeah, it's raining a lot. Golfed. One day good, one day bad. You know what? I think that was about it.
That was it? Just golf those 2 days?
Yeah, I watched basketball, the playoffs with my son, watch the Phillies. With both kids. Daughter's a big fan of O'Dubes. She calls him O'Dubes.
O'Dubes. You got to get her a jersey.
You think he would sign it for her?
Oh, yeah, he would. One-two pitch.
Oh.
Just missed off the outside corner. And now it's 2-2. Pitch cast presented by PJ Wheelahans. Well, he didn't give that to the Blue Jays earlier.
No, he's consistent. My truck was green though when I got here because it said
a lot of pollen. We were going to write messages on it the other day. That one's picked on one hop by Kingery. 2 outs.
Well, as much pollen was on that thing, you could have wrote War and Peace.
Did you get it cleaned off today?
I did. Yeah. Made like having ice on your windshield when your windshield wipers don't. My windshield wipers had trouble cutting through it.
It was pretty thick even when we got home.
Well, don't be afraid to take it and get it washed.
No, we're talking hours was thick. Yours was there a few extra days.
Yeah. Oh, the allergies down in Florida are bad too, and I come up here and it's tough.
Swing and a miss. So at 2.
If that's the enjoyable thing about having a cough button.
Plus some cough drops.
Cough drops. Been taking allergy medicine, doubling up. Body's rejecting that stuff.
Is that good to double up? He went around.
Hey, if one's good, two's better.
All right. 3 strikeouts for Adam Morgan at a 1-2-3 top of the 8th inning. All right, let's see if the Phils can get some runs. The top of the order is due up when we get back. A turning point. And it's the outing tonight by Sam Gabilio. You know, this Blue Jays rotation's been banged up somewhat. Only his second start. It was a good one.
Yeah, and he's getting his shot, and he made the most of it here tonight. A great breaking ball, great off-speed pitches. That two-seamer that he threw to lefties coming back. Got a couple strikeouts with that, and a really well-pitched game. He didn't overthrow. He's not a power pitcher, but see his numbers there. 6 innings and in line for a win, unless the Fighting Phils do something here special, and that's he is our Toyota turning point of the game.
Yes, so now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Tyler Clippard, the veteran, is on to face the top of the order. At a first pitch outside, Clippard, who did not have a team after last year and went to the Major League Baseball training camp that was held down in Florida, and late in spring training was signed by the Blue Jays. He's always had a very good changeup. It's been a devastating changeup.
But do you throw it 1-0 with a 3-run lead in the 8th?
I remember him just throwing it all the time. They used to have a mid-90s fastball too. That one's lined out to right field. And Hernandez reaches up. He can't get it. It hits off the base of the wall. Cesar's to second. He'll stop there. And Cesar's on-base streak is stretched to 28 games.
Hey, maybe they needed to see a familiar face out there on the mound. I don't know if Fernandez thought he could catch this ball or not, but
I thought he had it the way he was going back. Maybe that angle's deceptive, but
yeah,
it looked like he just didn't turn his glove.
Yeah, and then it looked like when the ball was getting close to his glove, he turned his head to look for the wall.
Yeah. Rhys Hoskins is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Out in front of that changeup. It's funny, we've watched just about all of Tyler Clippard's career, and his changeup used to be 86, 87, 88. That was at 80 miles an hour. Line down the left field line. That'll be in for a base hit going to the corner. Cesar's going to score. He's around third. RBI double for Hoskins. 6-4 is the lead for the Jays. Phillies now with 4 extra base hits in the last 3 innings.
Blue Jays getting someone up too, and how can you blame them? He swung at the first changeup and was way out in front of it, and he waited back just enough on that one. Still hit it off the end of the bat a little bit, but perfect placement down that left field line, and he replaces Cesar at second base and throw another point on the board for the Phils.
And Tepera, Ryan Tepera, is up and loosening in the pen. So Pete Walker is back to the dugout. And here's Odubel Herrera, still nobody out. Phillies trail it by 2.
Don't need to be a hero right here, Odubel. Yeah, 2-run homer would be nice, tie this game up, but pass the baton. Well, one thing, if he hits a line drive into that right center field gap, he's going to be able to run for a while.
Yeah. Inside, 1-1.
Look at this gap. Look at this space. Look at that, Tom.
Woo. You could drive your pollen-covered truck through that baby.
Yes, you could.
You know, right field's pretty wide open too. The corner, that is.
Yeah. Here's where you got to. I would almost assume you have to look for a changeup here. Changeup, swing and miss. Fastball in off the plate. You have to think he's coming back with the changeup. He came back with a fastball and missed.
Tyler Clippard, the last 4 games, it's 3 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, an earned run average of 18. That's not including what's happened already here tonight. He's been a good relief pitcher for a long time. Two balls and 1 strike. Popped him up. Smoke, the first baseman, is there to make the catch. And 1 out. Here comes Carlos Santana. Time now for our Ram Truck Stump the Fans trivia quiz. Answer, John. Who led the majors last year with 15 first inning home runs?
That would be current Blue Jays third baseman Josh Donaldson.
That is correct. Giancarlo Stanton was second with 14. He had 15. Donaldson did. Log back out to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Change up, 0-1.
Well, with only a 4-player bench, we're down to Andrew Knapp, backup catcher, who they probably would not want to use.
And Valentin.
Valentin is in the on-deck circle.
Well, they got him out front again. This one over toward third base, and Donaldson. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Valentin will indeed pinch hit. Jess Wells' numbers, he has 1 hit so far.
About his first career homer.
That would be beautiful in this.
Think you get setting. A curtain call?
Yeah.
That changeup has been being used often in these last 3 hitters.
Oh, 2. Well, I would think he's got to be prepared to see it again. He may see a show me pitch, but
yeah, I mean,
you can look at all the scouting reports as you want.
Yeah, until you get up there and see it for yourself.
There's Adam Morgan, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs. And now the 0-2 pitch to Valentin.
Breaking ball? It's a good time to pick one out, first one of the day, huh?
Yeah, that may have just been a show me, and he may.
Yeah.
Although the velocity was very similar. Got him. Threw him another changeup. He had 3 strikes on the changeup with Valentine. The Phils settle for just 1 run. They leave 1 in scoring position. It's 6-4 Toronto as we go to the 9th. It's when the Phillies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Men 15 and older will receive the John Kruk 1990s BP pullover. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets now. How many of those are you going to ask for?
What?
Those BP pullovers, the John Kruk.
What do you mean ask for?
You got to take some. They're yours. It's your name on the back. You can wear one every day in the offseason.
I got enough junk in my house.
Here's Tommy Hunter. And he will face Dwight Smith Jr., former first-round pick in 2011 by the Toronto Blue Jays. His dad played for the Cubs.
Wasn't he co-rookie of the year with Walton?
He finished second in the balloting behind Jerome Walton.
Jerome Walton,
yep.
Yeah. They were teammates, yeah.
Yep. He had 324 his rookie season. Dwight Smith did. Ball's pulled to the right side. And one away.
Memory serves me correctly, they didn't sustain long, did they?
Jerome Walton, Dwight Smith, no. Well, Dwight, 275, 46 home runs, played from 89 and then lingered until 96. Won a World Series in 95 with the Braves. Jerome, he had 269 with 25 home runs. He started with the Cubs in 89. And he, lingered somewhat until the 98 season. The first 3 years for Jerome, he played 100 games or more. After that, he only played 100 games one other time.
But they never approached their rookie year numbers, did they?
No. The only year was in '95 for Jerome. He was 29. He had 290 with 8 home runs and 22 RBIs, but that wasn't close to his Rookie of the Year. Granderson over to first, a foul ball. 3-2. Every time a Phillies pitcher reaches 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Line drive caught by Florimone. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Now Josh Donaldson is coming up. Donaldson in his 4th year with the Blue Jays, a 3-time All-Star, twice with the Jays, once with the A's. He's battled injuries the last 2 years. This year it was the shoulder. Last year he played 113 games, still had 33 home runs and 78 runs batted in.
Calf, right?
It was a calf last year.
Yeah, I know he's had calf injuries before.
This is the final year of his deal. Grounds it right into the shift. Florimone. Well, it's a 1-2-3 9th inning for Tommy Hunter. It means it's the last chance for the Phils as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. They trail it by 4. Tepera is coming in. Count on NBC 10 First Alert Weather. Steve, Crystal, Glenn, Tammy, Bill, and Brittany rated most accurate for your neighborhood for the 3rd year in a row. Phillies trail at 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Time now for our WB Mason deliveries, John, of the game. Go back to the 5th inning. We'll start it off there.
Yeah, the 5th inning after scoring 3 in the 1st. Eflin kept them scoreless after that, but Justin Smoke hits a long 2-run home run right there, and then Russell Martin comes up later in the inning after Arano replaced Zach Eflin with a base hit to score Solarte and put that 6th run up on the board in the 3rd run of that inning. And those are our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
All right, so the Phillies with 17 come from behind victories this year. It's the most in Major League Baseball. They will face Ryan Tepera.
What's he keeping that thing?
Who's that?
Gabe, that
I think it's just it's stats, trends.
No, though, the water thing he drinks out.
Water.
Like, is it water?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm assuming that's what it is. His body's his temple, John. Got to stay hydrated.
Yeah. So is mine. My congregation is just bigger than his.
Tepera 3 saves and 8 opportunities for his career. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Big arm. Watch him throwing his warm-up pitches. It don't take long from hand to glove.
One ball and 1 strike to Kingery. Little looper out toward right field, and Hernandez is there. And 1 out. And that'll bring Jorge Alfaro up. Back toward the middle. That'll get into center field, a base hit. So that means the Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate. It's what you always want in the 9th inning, to give yourselves a chance. And it'll bring Pedro Florimon up. Florimon is 0 for 3. He's flat out twice and popped out once.
Bloop and a blast. We go home happy.
Beautiful. Kind of feels like that kind of night.
Yeah, it's just you're waiting.
Florimon late on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. No balls and 1 strike.
Haven't heard any barking from either dugout. Joe West's been really consistent back there today.
Yeah, the only barking you're hearing is from section 303, 304, 305. Two and 1 to Florimon. Two balls and 2 strikes. Nice catch by that little guy.
Interesting. I think it's interesting that they're holding him on. His run means nothing.
Plus that leaves that hole wide open on that side.
Wide open.
Tomorrow we'll be back a little earlier, 4 o'clock Eastern time. NBC Sports Philadelphia. And a line drive base hit into center field. Alfaro's going to get to third on this one. And Florimon's on his way to second. He's there sliding. The tying run is in scoring position. Now that's some quality base running right there.
Yeah, Alfaro had to freeze, but when you saw how hard that ball was hit and where they were playing, you thought Florimon might have a chance. Now watch Alfaro. He had to freeze right there, But you see where the outfielders are playing, and Florimon, as soon as he hit it, it's one look and then it's full speed. He knew right then, as soon as that ball left his bat, once he saw it go past the second baseman, I'm going for two. Beautiful base running by both guys.
So now it's Altair with runners on second and third and one out here in the ninth inning.
Now it tells you the situational base for, hitting last inning with after the double by Cesar and a double by Reese with no outs, and you get two pop-ups and a strikeout.
The ball's in one strike to Altair.
You're down two. You don't think about that one run in the eighth, how vital it could be. But
that's what we said. Get one more.
Get one more.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, he's starting to mix in a breaking ball at least.
And spun off the bat.
You see that ball run, though, that two-seamer by Tapara, right, and that was nasty.
1-2. 2-2. And the pitch outside, gets by Russell Martin. A run will score, and the tying run is at third. It's a 6-5 game.
Now they have to play the infield in. You see the pitch is a breaking ball by Tapara, and that wasn't even close by Russell Martin. Alfaro scores, and now hard contact into the outfield. This baby will be tied up.
Tapara is all set to go. 3-2 to Altair. Inside, ball 4. The last 14 games for the Blue Jays, they have 2 blown saves. The bullpen's ERA during those 14 games, 5.05.
And another interesting thing here with the speed of Cesar Hernandez, where does he play? Where does John Gibbons play the infield?
They started in, now he's moving him back.
He's moving him back. He said, let's turn 2. And unless Cesar hits a hard hit ball at one of the infielders, this is where Florimon has to get a good lead, but he also has to watch because Donaldson is playing really close. You got to watch for a pickoff.
Cesar showed bunt, pitches upstairs, 1-0. The tying run is at third. The winning run is at first. The Phils trail it by 1. They were down 3-0 and then 6-1, and now it's 6-5. The holes on the right and the left side, shortstop and second, are wide open for Cesar. Two 2-0.
Lefty up in the bullpen. I'm assuming that would be for Odubel, but you look at the hole, you see Smoke holding on Aaron, and
I think you got to take here.
Absolutely.
Keep putting pressure on him, because if you load the bases with Hoskins coming up, I know he's been scuffling lately. He has an RBI double tonight, but things get tight for a pitcher. And ball 4. The bases are loaded, and Cesar says something to Hoskins as he walks up the first base line. And John Gibbons is coming out. I like that.
Well, I like it too, because it was, I'm turning it over. You know, hero at bats in this situation, most of the time don't end well when you're trying to be the hero. Well, he's leaving him in.
Yeah.
But the sign of a good team is, you know, turn it over to the next guy. If he's not going to give me anything to hit, I'll take my walk and have confidence in the guy behind me.
It's 6-5 with the bases loaded.
I think that guy was a leftover from the '93.
Hoskins 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. Tying runs at third, winning runs at second. It's a pair of deals. Outside, almost got away from Martin again, 1-0.
It's got to be a helpless feeling as a manager, knowing how your bullpen has struggled recently, and you know everything was nice and comfortable, and starting pitcher was really good, and now all of a sudden I have no idea where this ball's going.
Reese is ahead, 1-0. Fouls it off to the right, 1-1.
And the difference in speed between Reese and Cesar is why their middle infield for the Blue Jays can play deeper. I mean, even Donaldson's deep.
He is deep.
Ground ball to him. If Florimon gets a big lead and a big secondary lead, and if it's a slow roller to him, that could be tough for him to come in and make a play coming in and trying to get the force at home.
The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. It's listed as a cutter. It had really good depth to it.
Well, here's where you got to guard against that two-seamer running in on your fist and getting a ground ball. I'm sure that's what Tepera would love to have right here, but if you're Reese, you got to think to yourself, just stay on a ball and try to hit it the other way. If you catch it out front, great, but you can't roll over your hands here and hit a grounder.
Outside, 2-2. Boy, that was awfully close. Even with his struggles, Reese still has maintained that eye. Close with 2 strikes.
If they move home plate to the right 6 inches. I mean, if you're Russell Martin, what do you do? He throws hard, so you set in, and if he throws it away like he did with, when Florimon and Alfaro were on second and third.
And a strike 3 called. 96 right on the black. Two outs. Oh boy.
Wow.
It was close. He hasn't called that outside corner most of the night, at least what we've seen.
Double. You see if Reese not in agreement with Joe West, but You know, Dubel was standing in the on-deck circle waiting to see if John Gibbons was going to bring the lefty in.
Yeah.
And then he had to regroup. He had to go back and ask, like, what's this guy throw?
All right, so with 2 outs and the bases loaded, it is left up to Odubel Herrera. The Phils trying to complete the comeback. And then they would sit and wait and see what happens in Boston.
Here's where Odubel has to just stay within himself. A single wins a game. With Aaron's speed as deep as the outfield's playing.
Florimo went sprinting down the line, and Tepera stepped off.
You don't need a grand slam. Just, you know, his double today was a nice, easy swing, head down, stayed on the ball, drove it to left center. That's the same swing he needs here against Tepera.
A bouncer right side. Solarte waits back on it, throws to first in time, and the Blue Jays hang on and win it by 1. Odubel went after the first pitch. And Tepera picks up the save, and the Phillies leave him loaded here in the 9th inning. 1 run on 2 hits. And 3 men left for the Phils. Here's the last pitch to Odubel.
Like a cutter.
It was a cutter, yeah.
Cutter that stayed on the outer half, and he tried to pull it, and that's the result when you try to pull it. Something down and away.
So the Blue Jays hang on and win it 6-5. Our Chevrolet player of the game was the starting pitcher, Sam Gaviglio. He was good tonight for 6 innings.
He was really good, and you know, it's nice to see a guy who's not overpowering, but a young kid who knew how to pitch, and we saw that in St. Louis with Gant. You know, just a young kid who knew how to pitch and had a feel for how to pitch, and he was really good tonight. The breaking ball down and away to righties, that 2-seamer to the lefties that starts at him and breaks over the inside part of the plate, and he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
Yeah, we've seen 3, Gant, Flaherty, and now Gaviglio. The Blue Jays win it by 1. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.